Wonderful. That's exciting, too.
Yes.
Lastly, for your department, oftentimes young people come in at Access Point as an assistant or an intern or whatever. Is there a career path in the department for those who stay around beyond 1 or 2 or 3 administrations where they can grow professionally to be the city rep?
Yes, and I hope so. My role is not to stay here forever. So we have one example, Amanda Castor, who actually started, working in Welcome America, working as an intern, and she is now the associate director of Wawa Welcome America.
Okay.
And so she is the go-to person, my go-to person, specifically around the logistics for Welcome America.
Okay.
So she's a great example.
Very good. Anything else you care to put on the record?
We look forward to actually getting some input from the council members about the parade. I think I mentioned this last year. I actually said that we were looking for some drill teams
really?
to include so that we can highlight various neighborhoods and various talent throughout the parade.
And which parade are we talking about, just
the
for
parade
clarity?
on the 4th of July.
Okay. In the absence of Councilwoman Maria Quinones Sanchez, I know she would have a long list
Yes.
of those from her community that would be quite talented. We've seen them at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, so we need to make sure that she's aware of that as well.
Yes, definitely.
So all of those recommendations should be funneled through you.
Yes.
Okay, and so you have Philadelphia too. That's not a drill team, but
Right.
I know the professional company would not be permitted. Joan Myers Brown wouldn't allow it.
Right.
But there may be dance companies too that
Would love to try to see how we can include
a
them.
little bit for that experience.
Yes, again, this is a showcase of Philadelphia.
Yes.
We already have everyone around the country looking at us. Why not highlight everything that's great about us?
Okay. All right then. Well, I know that I have several that I can recommend and send forward to your attention.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Councilman Jones, is he here? He's on his way? Councilman Jones? I need to get some clarity on the question.
Yeah, no problem.
It's quite relevant for your department. So, in the Los Angeles Times, there's an article that says Live Nation in talks to bring Made in America to L.A. Might you be aware of that? Any insight on that? Because we would love not to lose that.
I don't have any direct insight except to say that I know that we are very interested in having Made in America here.
Yes.
It might be, and if I was a marketing, person getting lots of money on the other side, I would probably say how great to have MIA East Coast, West Coast. Mm-hmm. And so I would probably say that's probably what they're trying to do. That's something I would do if I were marketing the brand for MIA and Jay-Z.
So at this hour, you're unaware.
I'm unaware of the details, but I am aware that we are interested and have communicated that. My understanding is that they are also still very interested. We went through an RFP process this year for a festival like MIA, and they were the only respondents for that weekend.
Is that right?
Yes.
And the status of that in the pipeline of the decision-making is what?
So it was closed yesterday at 11 o'clock. And since we have one respondent, it shouldn't be too difficult to read and make, ask some questions and make an informed decision.
So that would be for Labor Day weekend?
Correct.
I see. Okay then. Well, certainly relay those answers to Councilman Jones.
Thank you.
That's it for this afternoon. We thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So we're going to take a 3-minute recess, and if we could ask SEPTA to join us at the table, please. And President Clark will be on his way back. Thank you very much.
that I've been multitasking all day, in and out. I want to thank Councilwoman Reynolds Brown for taking over the helm. Please proceed with your testimony.
Good evening, Council President Clark.
And I got to say, this is probably your luckiest budget process in the history of the city of Philadelphia, when you only have one council member here to ask you questions.
Thank you. My name is Joseph Casey, General Manager for SEPTA, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority. To my left is Francis Jones, Assistant General Manager for Government Affairs, and to my right is Jeff Knuppel, Deputy General Manager. SEPTA is pleased to submit the following testimony supporting the authority's fiscal year 2015 operating budget requests. The city contributes subsidy to SEPTA, which is proposed at $70.4 million in the fiscal year 15 general fund budget. The subsidy amount will match the estimated state operating subsidy as required by Pennsylvania Act 44. In November, this region breathed a collective sigh of relief with the passing of state transportation funding bill that will significantly increase SEPTA's capital budget and enable us to tackle many of the stated good repair projects. With the new state transportation funding resources, SEPTA has recently outlined a catching up capital program. Projects we are advancing in the city include City Hall Station, the overhaul of the city's concourses, new trolleys, as well as stations improvements at Market Orthodox, 40th Street, 15th Street, and 5th Street. We're investing in both to improve the amenities for our customers as well as preserving the transit system for future generations. Of immediate concern is our labor contract with local TW 234. SEPTA is committed to negotiating with all SEPTA unions in reaching agreements that are fair for our employees, our customers, and those stakeholders who provide subsidy funds for the authority. Last Thursday, Transportation Chair Councilman Johnson, Majority Leader Councilman Jones, and State Representative Harris and I met with TW leaders to urge further negotiation. And as a result, the TW is back at the bargaining table. Lastly, I want to thank the administration and council for the approval of the SEPTA City Lease Agreement, the result of which will deliver new and improved facilities for our riders and visitors to the city, our city. City Council's recognition and importance of public transportation and continued support is greatly appreciated. And we'll be happy to answer any questions council may have.
Thank you so much. And again, to you and your team, I want to thank you all for doing a great job being designated as one of the best transit systems in the country, if not the best, is a pretty significant achievement. So I want to thank you. And not only that, this your willingness and the ability to have to be extremely responsive to members of council and staff whenever there is issues. And I want to thank you for that wonderful station at 33rd and Dolphin. It is awesome.
Thank you, Council President.
Awesome. A couple of quick questions. Your alternative fueling to address transportation costs, and have you looked into CNG fueling for all of its vehicles or a portion of your vehicles?
Yes, we have.
You have? And can you kind of tell me what the status is and the cost savings projected as a result of that?
Yeah, we had an outside firm do an analysis, and to SEPTA there was no significant cost savings for converting to natural gas. I think the properties that do convert, they're smaller properties. They have a different cost structure than we have. We spend significantly less on our fuel costs than they do. And besides that, to convert to CNG would be significant capital investment. And only 2 of our facilities even have the real estate space in order to convert. And that presents problems from a Title VI standpoint.
Okay.
So it's not where we're going. But however, we are in the process of doing a CHP project that will provide electricity for half of our regional rail service that will be generated through Pennsylvania Gas. And that project, we hope to award that late summer, early fall.
Right. Have you had any conversation with any of the municipalities in your system about them possibly converting, and particularly in Philadelphia,
Converting, I'm sorry.
utilizing CNG opportunities, converting it, some of its operations. You know, we have a pretty significant fleet here, and it's,
We haven't had that discussion. I can tell you from a public transit industry, when I talk to the bus manufacturers, their future, and we actually had one of the bus companies in last week, the future is really in electric vehicles. And that's, I mean, the CNG might even be a stopgap, if you will.
Right.
But as soon as they get the batteries and more powerful batteries, and they can ride the vehicles longer on those batteries, you know, that is the wave of the future. That's
Okay.
where the R&D resources are being focused.
okay. We need to look at that. I see Ms. Cutler is in the back, and I know she's very interested in this particular issue.
Yes.
Smart cards, how's that going? The smart card project?
It's moving along. It's slower than we anticipated, but the physical modifications are taking place. You see new turnstiles on the system. There are some issues on the software side that we're working on, but we're progressing. And you know, we still anticipate by the end of the year to at least have pilots working, so we have to test the system to make sure it works.
Right.
One thing we will not do is roll out a system that does not work.
Right, well, you should feel some level of comfort in that the systems with the affordable health care early on appeared that it was never going to work, and, you know, now they've obviously been successful by getting more than 7 million people, so it can happen there. I'm sure that you guys will figure out a way to correct it on your end. One of my levels of interest, advertising.
Yes.
On your vehicles and other locations in your inventory. What are you guys up to now in terms of annual income?
Actually, we will present a new contract to the board this month, and the minimum guarantee numbers that the advertising are promised will continue. We are still pursuing some naming rights at a couple of locations, but those numbers continue to grow, and we're very optimistic in the future.
All right, so you don't want to give me the number, okay.
I haven't briefed my board yet.
I don't want to, okay, that's fine. Well, what about last year?
I think they were about $12-13 million
All right,
in total,
okay.
and it's for the contract's for the next 10 years, and the numbers are significantly higher than that.
All right, so long-term contracts are good.
Yes.
You know, we obviously, it's something that we've been interested in. We call it municipal marketing. It's a little slicker name than advertisement. But, and I understand that apparently a couple of RFPs have gone out on the city side. Now, let me understand. When you all did it, did you hire a company to pretty much manage the entire process?
Yes.
So you wouldn't get bogged down in the day-to-day minutia of having to...
Yes, and the way we structure the bid is we ask for a minimum guarantee.
Okay.
And so the higher the minimum guarantee, there's an incentive for them to not only meet that minimum guarantee, but also to exceed that, because that's where they make the profit when they actually exceed that.
All right, yeah, and we actually had proposed that, but I don't think that's the direction we're going. Because we met with probably one of the companies, or the company that was providing that contract or that arrangement for you.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought it was more appropriate for us to go that direction. But, you know, being in the legislative branch, we don't get to determine that. We can make as many proposals as possible, but the executive branch ultimately gets to determine what the RFP will be. But I always thought that was the best way to go. All due respect to some of our municipal employees,
Yes, and it really,
hiring somebody that does that for a living is probably the best way to go.
and it really protected us when the economy had a downturn in 2007, 2008, and the advertising dried up in a lot of the cities, but our revenues continue to be strong in Philadelphia.
Great. Okay. I recognize Councilwoman Blackwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening.
Good evening.
We appreciate the job that you do. There are a lot of issues we're still dealing with. In fact, we want to give kudos to Francis for coming out to 40th and Market at our senior high-rise and talk about 40th Street. And can't say it too loud. The president might hear and think he's supposed to get my my elevator for SEPTA going downstairs with all those seniors. But we appreciate it and work you've done and the work that Francis has done over the years. We'll probably need to have some interaction, you know, with us bringing the police administration building to 4601. That's a major
Yes.
L-stop, and we had a tour with the deputy mayor, Gillison, 2 days ago, where we talked about the steps and whether or not there's still a water leak in the corner, just various issues that I haven't even I didn't even contact Francis about. I wanted to get it organized such that our direction is clear. So it's been many, many years. We've had a lot of issues over the years, and we've survived. But we certainly want to thank you and thank Francis, our hands-on person, who has been there through it all, through hard times and easy, and taking the hits when a lot of other people would have been afraid to do that. So we appreciate it and want her to continue to work with us to get all these things accomplished.
We certainly want to be responsive to you, Councilwoman, and any of the issues that you might have.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Question with respects to the transportation bill that was passed, and again, congratulations. What exactly, what are the types and what kind of revenue can we anticipate being generated here or coming to the city of Philadelphia as a result of the new transportation bill? Because I've had some conversations about certain things that were allowed, different types of taxes on fuel. What, can you just kind of walk me through that? What exactly that means to the city of Philadelphia?
It's a 5-year build-up, and I believe the first year, at least the money coming to SEPTA is about $40 million. By the 5th year, it'll be approximately $330, $340 million, depending on the estimate. All that will go to our capital program. Our capital program is currently about $300 million, so it's by the 5th year, it would double that. And to us, it's significant. We have so many issues on the transit that our state of good repair was just growing and growing and growing. And, you know, I don't have to tell you about the condition of City Hall Station that needs to be done. You know, we certainly want to move on the concourses, improving the concourses, and some of the other areas that, you know, they look nice, but the trolley fleet out there are well past their useful life, and it's causing us mechanical problems and service interruptions on the street. And at the same time, they're not ADA accessible. So those things have to be replaced. And there's many other, you'll see a big investment similar to when we had the stimulus. You'll see a lot of work, and you'll have that coming. You know, again, it'll be a gradual build-up, but you'll see that in 2 or 3 years, where you have a lot of contracts on the street, creating a lot of jobs, and a lot of improvement of the facilities, transit facilities, not only in Philadelphia, but throughout the region.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I'm actually good. When you don't have a lot of questions from City Council, it means you're doing a good job.
Well, it's very late in the evening.
All right, thank you. All right, well, thank you very much for your testimony.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The committee will stand in recess until Monday, April 7th, 10 a.m. which time we will reconvene in room 400 City Hall. Thank you all very much.